Good morning, world. Today is the 9th of December at 9 in the morning. We have an event later on tonight, which is from 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. till 9 p.m. in London in the new Logitech building. It's a festive event. I'm not going to be going festive. I was going to wear like a full Christmas suit. And then another guy that I know, Big Box, Little Box, Unbox, he's also going. And I said, are you going to be dressing up for, the Christmas season? He said no. So I'm not going to do it. Because normally he goes all out when it comes to like events. He wears the get up and he looks good. So if he's not even going to get dressed up, there's no point. I'm just going to go cash smart. But yeah, it's a Christmas event. I don't know what it's going to have. I don't know what it's going to be about. There is 2 panels going on. One is about making money as a content creator. One is about like editing and stuff. They're products like the MX Master 4, things like that. Hey, I've never been to one of these events before, like for Christmas. So it's all new. I'm excited to see what the goodie bag is though. I always love a good goodie bag. And Logitech always come through when it has goodie bags. Like they must spend out a bit of money when it comes to the goodie bag. So what I'm going to do now is do a couple of edits for some other content I need to do. This channel's becoming very vlog oriented. No, vlog forwarded. Vlog. I don't know what the word is. It's becoming a bit more of a chill channel. It was constant brand deal, product. Now I'm sort of trying to make it a bit more fluent with me as like my own personal brand instead of it being more content related to a brand. I'd like to, connect a bit more with the audience and just show a bit more of a day-to-day life of what it is like doing this sort of full-time. So that's what we're doing. Now, I am using the Sony shotgun mic, which is the the M1. This is the ECM M1. I don't know, bloody know. So I don't know how the audio is going to sound. Hopefully it does sound good. I know that Jayhawk uses it. I've had this for God knows how long, and I've never really used it. It's an expensive microphone, but I want to give it its dues. I want to give it a shot. See how it works while we're travelling around London. Now, I'm not going to go early today. I'm not leaving till around sort of 2:30, 3. Obviously, the event doesn't start till 5. I've got to drive to Cockfosters, get on the train or the underground to King's Cross, then go from King's Cross to the Northern Line to Moorgate, and then walk 5 minutes to the venue. So it's going to be a bit of a trek, but I mean, it's well worth it. When I looked at the prices of driving to London, it's extortionate for parking. I think it was like £7.50 an hour. And then obviously congestion fee, you've got to pay as well. So I was like, do you know what? Train it is. Parking all day at Cockfosters is like £10. And it's a pretty good car park as well. There's a lot of space and, I've never had an issue there. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the festive holiday season brings to Logitech and what they're going to have going on at the event. I am going to try and vlog. I'm going to be taking my big camera only, the A7C II. That's all I'm taking. I'm not taking this little DJI boy. He's staying here today. He's having a rest after MCM Comic Con. I'm going to be just taking this, so it's going to be very much like, professional, holding the camera. Well, look at that lighting change. Yeah, it's going to be very professional holding the camera like this. So hopefully the audio picks up. It's not too shaky. I do have a dynamic, I can set it to dynamic range, so it crops in a bit and it makes it a bit more stable. But I kind of like the shakiness because it shows true, authentic vlog vibes. But yeah, I'm going to try and capture as much as I can at the event, as much as I can sort of within the event, like actually talking. I don't know how that's going to go because I'm very, I jump into a shell when I get inside of like an event. I never pull the camera out and do this. As you can tell, I'm in my office. I'm happy doing it now. As soon as I'm in front of people, I'll just clench. I can't do it. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to get on with some editing. I've got to do my expenditures. And then we're going to jump back in later on in the day, probably when we're leaving. That's the only thing with vlogging. I don't know what to say. See you in the next clip. Okay, so the time is 12:05. I'm going to pack my bag, get ready for ready to rumble, if you will. So this is the bag I'm taking. The nice leather Grams bag. We actually have a new bag from Grams, by the way, which let me just pop you down and I can grab it. So yeah, this is the bag I'm taking. This is the Stealth backpack. Absolutely love this bag, and for good reason. It holds a good amount of stuff, all my camera stuff, all my, belongings that I need, and has the nice secret compartment for keys and stuff. I normally do also take this little essential sling, but recently I've had issue with the strap there sort of coming apart. So Grams, being Grams, the absolute legends, sent me out a new one, which is in a brown, which is this one here. And it's in this nice brown tanned colourway. But I'm not going to be taking that today. I'm going to be leaving that one here, even though it would go really nicely with my shoes and black that I'm wearing. But this is the new one. Well, this is a adventure sling sort of style thing. So it's very rugged. Colorway looks very nice, but they've got a new one coming out, which is the Rover set. And I mean, the bomber jacket for that looks... Oh! I have asked them if there's any spare after the launch, if they can send me one, because the bomber jacket just looks so good. But it's inspired by the Rover, sort of Mars Rover car. But this is the other backpack side sling. And then I do actually have an actual side sling camera bag, also from Grams 28. They love me, I'm telling you. I love them. So this is the other little side sling. I was going to take this because this holds, you know, everything that I need from just my camera and essentials, and it's quite slim, quite out of the way. But I feel like going to London, a backpack's probably more accessible. It's easier to carry, less likely to get snatched off my shoulder. You know, a backpack's just a lot more versatile in a place like London compared to a side sling that's going to get bashed about and all that stuff. So we're going to leave these, and we are going to pack our backpack. So I always have a little light with me because you never know when you may need a good bright torch or just some sort of light if you're, you know, SOS signals and that stuff. So I tend to keep that always with me. The second thing I have is obviously my camera tool. All the necessary things for your camera if you need to, you know, put different tripod heads on or anything like that. So yeah, I always keep that with me. And then just some essentials like my wallet, keys, things like that. And then the camera, the mic, everything's going to go in there nice and snug. Like, say if I take a jumper or something, I can throw that in there. You've also got this back compartment as well, if you want to put your laptop in there, which I'm not going to. But I always like to have a little mooch around, and if I see anything in a shop, at least a backpack, I can store it in there and know it's safe. I'm going to pack my bag now and get ready to rumble, because it's now 10 past 12. I'm not very good with the whole vlogging thing. I don't really know what to vlog. I just sort of ramble. So if you have any suggestions on how to actually vlog, please leave them in the comments below, because I'd really love to know. I've also seen something actually on Logitech that they're bringing out some new A50s. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, if there is any new A50s, bless me this Christmas with a goodie bag. Or hear me out, Logitech, the Lando Norris A50s and stand. What a Christmas that would be. What a Christmas present that would be. Oh my God. Anyway, I need to pack my bag, so stop waffling, Callum. Okay, I will. Bye. Quick little update. I've just arrived at the train station. It is currently 4 o'clock. It took that long to get here, so I left probably like 2:15. It took ages. The traffic was mental. I'm bursting to the toilet, so I need to go to the train station, pay for parking, get on the train, and head into London quick time to get to the event before 5. So I need to rush, and I'm bursting for a wee, so let's go.
If I said it, I meant it, don't question me now. Running a marathon all through your town. Starting a riot and shutting it down, down, down. You mad as it gets cause they like how I sound. But we ain't do all of this work here for nothing. I took a nothing and I turned it to something. We ain't do all of this work here for nothing. We took a nothing and we turned it to something. We ain't do all of this work here for nothing. We ain't do all of this work here for nothing.
Yeah, I'm grabbing all of my dollars. I ain't do all this or nada. You tryna flex on a big dog, don't make me bust out of my collar. You can't compare me to them. They following everywhere that we been. I come from humble beginnings, but I want an arrogant end. I'm living dangerous, as I ain't afraid to win. Nobody open these doors, so we breaking in.
If I said it, I meant it, don't question me now. Running a marathon all through your town. Starting a riot and shutting it down, down, down. You mad as it gets cause they like how I sound. But we ain't do all of this work here for nothing. I took a nothing and I turned it to something. We ain't do
extend a very warm welcome to all of you today coming to join us in our new London office. So yeah, super excited to have you here and really appreciate the time that you've given up as part of the festive season. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Claire. I'm Danny's counterpart on Personal Workspace. I know many of you and just want to thank you all for your support in working with us over the past years. We've delivered some great campaigns across both categories. Really privileged and really excited to continue that relationship. So in true spirit, handing over to the master of the masterclasses, Mr. Danny Clayton.
I always do an intro. I said to Claire, I've got a set monologue that I think I could do from heart of why this started, that I'm sure everyone's heard before. But I'll just remind everyone, this started as a brief one. This started from a conversation with Gadea, Sophie, who was busy today, sadly, but usually comes along, who sparked this idea for having a meet-up of creators, trying to bring everyone together, share ideas, best practices, just generally get together. She said it was always a bit of a solo entrepreneur journey being a creator. I know people go to events and stuff like that, but it always felt nice to bring everyone together, share those key things that you can't really get from watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. Hopefully you can. You guys create those videos. But since then, we thought it'd be a really good idea to essentially merge mine and Claire's things. We all do stuff with creators. You're all just trying to make better content, make that a full-time job. And so we thought, why not bring everyone together? So not everyone here is a gaming creator anymore. We've really branched that out. I always say that this is a safe space for everyone, so please, I always try and ask the stupid questions first, but don't feel scared of asking something if you're worried about how people are going to judge you on it or anything like that. We would try and make it a safe space, free to ask the silly questions. Equally, sometimes I don't always give the most corporate answer, so that's why we never film it, generally. But yeah, thank you to everyone for being here, we really appreciate it. So yeah, you've got, from a Logitech side, you've got me, Claire, Emma, Marty, Hara, Letitia. There's loads of us around, so say hello, get to know everyone. Networking's such an important part of this as well. So yeah, get involved. What's on today? We've got 2 panels, one on diversifying revenue streams, and the other one on storytelling. We've also got fastest lap, so if you set fastest lap, we're going to have a prize for that today. And then it's December, like I said, it's Christmas season, so there is also a Christmas gift for all of you. If you do want it engraved, the lovely Marty who's over there in the back, wave mine. If you head, once you get your present after both panels, if you head down the back corner of the office, we've got an engraving machine so we can get your name put on it, or whatever you handle, whatever you want to do on it. On that, I'll hand over to Frankie and the first 2 panelists. If you guys want to come up, come give us a round of applause.
Do I go in the chair? Oh my goodness, I feel so tiny. That's exactly how I felt. That's why I'm set up like this. Whereas the board is just normal height compared to us. I'm Frankie. You'll hear my voice if you're at the back during this, but only occasionally because I'm not the expert by any means. I'm actually going to hopefully be learning quite a lot from these 2 today. So we have Gabor. So he's a business manager for a couple of highly successful YouTube channels, top dead centre and all the gear. So all the gear being a couple of mechanics, the guys on that channel.
So we have 3. So Auto Alex, he's getting more into automotive mechanic stuff. Kind of, I guess he fills the gap that Top Gear has left in a lot of petrol heads' heart. Then Top Dead Center, more mechanic stuff. So Wheeler Dealers, if you've seen that on TV before, that's kind of like the modern YouTube equivalent. And then All the Gear is basically based on All the Gear, No Idea. They do adventures and random tasks on YouTube, like pub conversations where you have a crazy idea, but they actually follow through with them. So it's a bit more of everything. But also, yeah, I would say automotive is kind of like the core and adventures. No.
And you handle all the business deals with them? Yeah,
my job is basically to maximize all revenue streams, run the business from a financial point of view, and make them as successful as they can be.
We also have Liv, who is a doctor, but a doctor,
not a medical doctor.
Not a medical doctor, but still a doctor who spent several years studying. So Agenomics PhD is your handle on social media, and I love watching your content, and I've been sort of obsessed with the passive aesthetic you have. And the fact that you have your own wrist guards as well, wrist rest, sorry. But Liv, you are an incredibly busy woman because you're working at the University of Essex and you're also running multiple channels.
Yes, and a podcast as well.
So let's get started by talking about, I guess, your breakdown of revenue streams across the platforms that you have, because we've mentioned you actually sell your own products as well as doing brand deals as well. So what does that currently look like for you?
Yeah, so that product's like a collab product. So it's a product that I've designed like in collaboration with a brand. But to answer your question, I would say that like maybe 65% brand sponsorships, and then 15% affiliate, and then the rest is made up of like UGC, AdSense, and like collaborative products with brands.
I know that your platform is mostly YouTube focused.
Yeah, so mainly, I guess YouTube is kind of like the mothership, and everything else filters down from that. But YouTube AdSense revenue is about 20%. I would say, again, most of it is coming from brand deals, both on YouTube and then on social. But we have some ancillary revenue streams, so e-commerce being a big one. You know, if you have an engaged community, you have, you know, inside jokes, you have different content series that kind of grow into kind of like cult objects, or, you know, cars for us that we do up, and they deserve their own designs and t-shirts. That's actually quite a big money maker for us. So that can, you know, give us up to 30-40% of the monthly revenue. Lower margin, but it has, you know, good cash flow and good community kind of engagement as well. So e-commerce for us is big.
How would you say that that revenue split, that kind of pie chart of AdSense, brand deals, etc., how has that revenue stream shifted over time, would you say? Has it remained the same for you, would you say, Liv, or has it changed quite a lot recently?
No, it's changed quite a lot. Like at the start, it was definitely, I was just doing like paid partnerships with brands, and then learned more about affiliate, learned more about UGC and things like that. But also it changes like as platforms change. So when I first started out, like TikTok, you could earn quite a lot of money through, it's now called the Creative Fund, but I can't remember what it was called before then. But they've since like changed that. So now you can only earn money on videos that are like over a minute long. So that definitely will affect and like shift your earnings over time. And I feel like platforms are always changing it. Like YouTube changed it with YouTube Shorts. So yeah.
For us, so we're YouTube heavy, and AdSense revenue initially in the early days where we didn't really have any relationship with brands, that was the majority. And since then, we started growing. We started getting some inbounds, but also, as myself, my job is to kind of create those new relationships and go out to expos and events and start speaking to people in the industry. We started growing the brand partnerships to be the kind of like the biggest revenue stream. And when it comes to that, I guess you can split that to two. So you have your long-term regular sponsors, kind of where you have your direct relationship, you work multiple times a year or multiple videos. Maybe it's kind of like a year-long product placement partnership where it's in the background, or every time you use a tool, it's from a certain company. Every time you get tires, it's from a certain company. So a lot of kind of natural integrations. Some of them being on an affiliate model. For example, tires, everyone wants, every time we use a tire, we say, by the way, if you want to get your tires, get 10% off here. And that adds up to quite a significant amount over the years, sometimes more than a prepaid partnership.
Liv, what's your policy on affiliate? Because you mentioned you do have an income stream from affiliate links. So will you actually partner with someone on an affiliate-only basis? Or do you say, I've got a set fee for this, and then after that, I'll run this affiliate link?
I don't really have like a set rule. Like I know a lot of creators will be like, oh, that's just gifted, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go to that event because they're not paying me to go to that event. For me, if I like a product, and I want to do a video on it, I'll do a video on it. If I want to take the product for affiliate, I will. So I don't really have a set rule. In general, I would say like I probably don't, because I'm quite similar in the sense that I focus more on like longer term relationships with brands. So a lot of the brands that I worked with a million times before. Like Logitech, for example, I've been working with Logitech for years because they're products that I actually like. And I think that also always reflects in your affiliate earnings as well. So I don't rule it out ever, but I don't often do it either.
If you're early stage and you're a one-man band, your only job is to focus on content and growing the channel, because the biggest lever, the biggest multiplier will be how many views do you get per video on YouTube or whatever your primary platform is. I think you don't want to get distracted.
And lifestyle content is like, okay, who are you? What are you doing? What does your day look like? What problems are you going to overcome in that day? What is that timeline looking like? What are the issues? How do you get to there? And it's the same with educational-based content. Is you set the scene, you set the context, what you're going to do, what you're going to overcome in that video, and then the user will the viewer will follow that and overcome that with you as well. So I'd say, context and tension are the two key pillars, I think, of any good story.
I like to compare it to like when I was at school, my teachers there used to be like 3 objectives on the board, and that's what we were covering in the lesson. So you kind of think, right, what's the topic of this video, and make sure your audience knows that from the get-go.
What makes a hook powerful for you guys in the world of short form, I suppose?
I'm trying to keep it simple. So I've learned, because I'm bread and butter YouTube, I'm used to being like, hello, welcome to the channel, blah, 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 blah. I've now learned that I just need to chop out that first 5 seconds and get straight to the point. So for me, it's whatever the topic of the video is, it'll just be, let's go to London with me today. Because my content is so organic and just what I'm up to, I'm going to attract the people that watch those kind of videos. So mine's not like in your face, snappy, blah, blah, blah. Simple title. You know what you get from the first 2 seconds. If you like it, you'll watch. If you don't, you scroll past.
Sort of as I mentioned earlier, that the context and attention is opening the biggest curiosity loop that you can open for the viewer that they're going to want to close within that video. So the hook has to be something that the viewer, the user is going to be like, I have to find out what happens to that. And the quicker that you open that loop, the better, the more likely you're going to engage as many people as possible. So a good example of that is like, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, maybe because I'm hungry, but like, it's like, I'm just thinking about food. But like, if you're like, oh, here's a sandwich that I made, right? Most people are going to be like, don't really care about that. It's small loop, people don't really care. If you're like, oh, this is a sandwich that I made that cost £100,000 and they only make 3 of them a day. The majority of people are going to be like, what is that? Why is that expensive? There's a lot of questions that they're going to need to have to answer that you're going to answer in that video. And that's how you have a good hook that gets as many people as possible hooked into that. Basically opening the biggest loop you can.
Yeah. In terms of like short form storytelling, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but like if you come from YouTube, I think it's interesting because a lot of people are trying to go the other way. How do you condense down a story into 60 seconds, like when it comes to short form, or do you not? Is it just a tease? Like
my bread and butter, like I said, is like weekly vlogs. So my weekly vlogs can be up to 30 minutes long. I make a YouTube video and then find interesting moments from that video and snip it into a TikTok. Anyone watches it on TikTok would get to see the full version of it if they wanted to on my YouTube channel. Be a bit ruthless and think, right, just get straight to the point, but that's something I'm still definitely learning after being such a long form creator for so long.
They're both so different. If you think of a short form content as like almost like a takeaway food, whatever, you expect completely different things from that than you do from like a sit down 3-course meal. You expect, you want to be quick, you want to get to the point, you want to kind of grab and go. I think you shouldn't think of short form as just like you can shove as much as you can from long form into a short form film. That's not what you're there. Imagine like sitting down having a meal, being rushed in and out. That's not why you're there. You want these bite-sized bits of content, insights, snaps. That's why you're getting the short form content, right? They are kind of these short, condensed snippets of that long form video, and then the long form video is a completely different approach. People have more time. You've got to get them in, of course, but it's received in a completely different way. So don't know if that fully answers the question.
Yeah, a little bit. And you kind of led nicely onto like my next question, which was like, how do you do that in a longer form video? How do you tell a story? Because everyone's used to trying to capture attention really quickly and explain something really quickly, like you said, pay it off really quickly. How do you take that and turn that into something that people want to watch for 10 minutes or a longer period than 60 seconds?
Again, like it's the same as what I mentioned earlier about the tension and the context and the loops, etc. It's just doing that over a longer period of time. Like, in any film, you will sit down for like 2-3 hours and they'll have the context, the classic, the hero arc. I'm sure if you heard that every film is kind of built around the hero arc. The same applies to a long form video, to be honest, is you set the context, you set the scene, you kind of talk about all those problems that you're going to overcome, and then you go on that journey. There's ups, there's downs. You solve that problem, you overcome that, you defeat the dragon, or whatever it is, and then you kind of have the payoff. And that's the same with any long form YouTube video. There's one big question that you're going to probably answer throughout the video, your main thing of what you're doing, but throughout that you might have loads of little questions like, I'm going to go to this place and this big thing's happening, but on the way this is going to happen, but then I need to go here and therefore this is going to happen. People are going to be engaged with those kind of little mini parts throughout that bigger story arch. And then eventually when you get to the end and you kind of have that big payoff, which is another kind of thing to think about, is once you hit that big kind of crescendo moment, people usually switch off.
Yeah.
So if you notice at the end of a lot of long form videos, the second you start talking about like this is the end, everyone switches off.
Yeah.
So don't really talk about the end until the end, until you end the video. Don't really talk there, because people will shut down. But
I do feel like YouTube videos end really abruptly now, so that's probably why.
That is exactly why, yeah. Because the second you kind of hint at that, you know, all the loops are closed, we're done.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, right, cool, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have a bit of an idea of what's going to happen with my day, right? It's like, for example, if I'm filming this week, I'm at a panel doing this, and I kind of like breadcrumb things in. So as the day is happening or the week's happening, people know that, oh, after that, then this is happening, and oh, I'll show you that tomorrow, and then they have to carry on and watch the next bit. People who watch long form content generally are watching it to have something longer than 3 minutes to watch, you know, so you can kind of rely on the fact that they are probably going to put that on in the background and just kind of let it tick over, and as long as it's engaging them with those little breadcrumbs, I think that's a good way of keeping everyone engaged.
We took a nothing and we turned it to something. We ain't do all of this working for nothing. We ain't do all of this working for nothing. Look. Back to the wall, all on my own with no one to call. Getting this far wasn't easy at all. I battled myself on competing with y'all. I wasn't alone, no. I came with my demons while fighting and kicking and screaming, trying to drag me back to those cold streets where the roads grew out of the cement. And if you knew what it took us to get here, you'd probably be cheerleading. Cause if you went through what it took me to get here, you'd probably be still dreaming. If I don't question me now. Running a marathon all through your town. Starting a riot and shutting it down, down, down. You mad as it gets cause they like how I sound. But we ain't do all of this working for nothing. I took it nothing and I turned it to something. We ain't do all of this working for nothing.
So I've just come back from the event, we're on the train, and the only reason I'm doing this vlog bit here is because there's no one on the train, so I feel comfortable doing it. But I forgot my tripod, so I couldn't even record inside the event because they had like little rooms, so I was going to put the tripod down and do a bit of talking. Couldn't even do that, forgot it. I think it's in the car. Time is currently 9:48, so it's been a long one. It's been a long one, but a great one. Really enjoyed the Logitech event. Like the headset, engraved headset, yes please. I knew the other package was a keyboard. I've already got like 50 keyboards, so I don't need another one, so hence why I went for the headset. Just a shame it wasn't the Lando Norris A50s. Maybe next time, Logitech. Or at least a hat. There you go. Okay, now I literally have free reign of this train. It's just me on this whole thing. Literally, there's no one down any carriages. Just me.
This train will terminate
but
here.
we're here now, so let's go to the car. Right, you probably can't see me because it's pitch black, but we are on the way home from Cut Foster's. What an event. Logitech always put on such a good event. So I want to say a massive thank you to Logitech for sending me out again to make the content. Absolutely fantastic day. The food, the drinks, everything there was just spot on. So huge W to Logitech. And yeah, the engraved headset is just a win-win. And then obviously the ball as well, perfect for Christmas. I'm going to head home now, and I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's watched the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, notification bell, all the good stuff, and I'll catch you all in the next video, which I don't know what will be, but other than that, much love, capture, create, captivate, and I'll see you all next time.